Good evening, BookTube. This is Johnny sitting here. Well, I was flossing my teeth a minute ago. Gotta keep your old chompers going when you get my age. You don't want to lose your teeth in old age and get dentures. I remember as a boy, my mother had dentures, false teeth. That's pretty common. I didn't really see a toothbrush until I was 16 years old. My first foster parents showed me how to brush my teeth. Anyway, and then I went to a dentist, and I've been going to the dentist. Well, when I married Carol, that's the first thing I did. I went to the dentist, and now I go every 6 months. Those are kind of things that you should not take for common, going to the dentist. I have my own doctor. I have health insurance. So yeah, I have to have my yearly physical coming up. So anyway, I just thought I'd make a video because this is going to be the Book Nook haul number 2. I said last night that I was going to show you the rest of the books that I got when I covered for somebody at the Book Nook on Tuesday, and that was yesterday. So I was going to show the books. First of all, today is October the 18th, 2017. It is a Wednesday. It is 7:59 at night here in West Michigan. For those who watch my videos, you saw the video I taped today. I went out to Lake Michigan, Tunnel Park, and I took photos from my Flickr account. Such a pretty day out there. I sat there for a while, gazing off into the distance into Lake Michigan, listening to the waves crash on the beach, and it was a good time. On the way home from Lake Michigan, I did stop at thrift stores, but I'll show those books tomorrow night. My thrift store finds. Because when I was coming back from Lake Michigan, I went to thrift stores, and then I had to pick up a prescription, and I stopped at some local thrift stores. Found a few things, nothing really mind-blowing. But as far as my diary today, I ended on page 944. So tomorrow morning, if I don't die in my sleep, I'll be on page 945. As far as what I've been reading, well, today I didn't really read. I don't think I really read anything today. I mean, I was kind of spaced out. I read a little bit of Night Ocean, a novel today. That's about it. I did start reading last night an essay in this new book I got in the mail, the collected essays of Elizabeth Hardwick. I started reading her essay on the decline of book reviewing. Well, you think there's been a decline of book reviewing, but here we are at BookTube. But then you have to ask yourself, on BookTube, do you have really serious book reviewers who do scholarly analysis of literature? I know I don't give book reviews. I show books that I enjoy reading or that I'm collecting. But and I direct people to what I think are good reviews, but I'm not really a scholarly book reviewer. If anything, I'm just a bookworm who loves books, loves words, and knows one of the reasons why I started BookTube was to talk about Christian books besides just secular books. So I'm having a cup of tea. Here are the books I got at the Book Nook yesterday. I got Old Weird America, The World of Bob Dylan's Basement Tapes by Greil Marcus. I found out I had this book, so I have 2 copies. I found a Jonathan Lethem that I did not have in my Jonathan Lethem collection. I have his Fortress of Solitude, Motherless in Brooklyn. He wrote all kinds of things. Those are the ones that anyway, I didn't have this. This is called Men and Cartoons, containing 2 news stories. So yeah, I got that from my Jonathan Lethem collection. And I found 2 Kurt Vonnegut, Galapagos by Kurt Vonnegut, the novel. It says Galapagos takes the reader back 1 million years to AD 1986. A simple vacation cruise suddenly becomes an evolutionary journey. Thanks to an apocalypse, a small group of survivors stranded in the Galapagos Islands are about to become the progenitors of a brave new and totally different human race. In this inimical novel, America's master satirist looks at our world and shows us all that is sadly, madly astray and all that is worth saving. It has a little quote by John Irving, the best Vonnegut novel yet. And then these are another thing, Kurt Vonnegut, Look at the Birdie. I think I had this one, so I have 2 copies now. Look at the Birdie. These are short fiction by Kurt Vonnegut. I didn't have this one. And then I found this biography on Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, The Making of the Modern World by Jack Weatherford. It says here, the Mongol army led by Genghis Khan subjugated more lands and people in 25 years than the Romans did in 400. In nearly every country the Mongols conquered, they brought an unprecedented rise in cultural communication, expanded trade, and a blossoming of civilization. Vastly more progressive than his European or Asian counterparts, Genghis Khan abolished torture, granted universal religious freedom, smashed feudal systems of aristocrat privilege. From the story of his rise to the tribal culture to the explosion of civilization that the Mongol Empire unleashed, this brilliant work of revisionist history is nothing less than the epic story of how the modern world was made. I gotta look at this other guy's book. This name is by Jack Weatherford. I gotta look him up on Amazon today. And then I found for my John McPhee collection, La Place la Concorde, Suisse. What this is, from what I gather, is about the Swiss Army. That's all I can figure out what it's about. McPhee is showing us many aspects of the Swiss Army as their famous knife has blades. Oh, the Swiss Army knife. I have one of those in my desk. I don't know. I collect him. I have 10, 12 of his books. And then I found this is a thrift store on the way home from the book Nook. The 50s, A Woman's Oral History by Harvey. At the book Nook, I came across Born to Run, the Bruce Springsteen new biography, which cost me $7, but I want to add this to my Bruce Springsteen collection. Then I found out a thrift store after the book Nook, Deep Politics, The Death of JFK. This is like conspiracy theory, but it looks really interesting. I collect books on the JFK assassination. And then I got at the book Nook, got this, Lincoln and Bardo, a novel by George Sanders. This one yesterday, The Man Booker for 2017. I might read it. I found a thrift store, Culture Jam, The Uncooling of America by Kalle, Lasn, the founder of ADBUSTERS magazine. I got this at the book Nook, American Canopy, Trees, Force, and the Making of a Nation by Rutkow. This was interesting. It says here, Rutkow's deeply fascinating work shows how trees were essential to the early years of the Republic and indivisible from the country's rise as both an empire and a civilization. Among America's canopy, many captivating stories, the Liberty Trees, where colonists gathered to plot rebellion against the British, Henry David Thoreau's famous retreat into the woods, the creation of New York City's Central Park, the Great Fire of 1871 that killed 1,000 people in the lumber town of Pisgah, Wisconsin, the fevered attempts to save the American chestnut and the American elm from extinction, and the controversy over spotted owls and old-growth forests that they inhabited. Rutkow also explains how trees were of deep interest to such figures as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Teddy Roosevelt, and Franklin Roosevelt, who oversaw the planting of some 3 billion trees nationally in his time as president. So that looks pretty interesting. And I got the book Nook. I have been looking at this biography of Van Gogh for a couple of years, and it came in to the book Nook. Van Gogh, The Life by Stephen Naifeh and Gregory White Smith. I have his other biography on Jackson Pollock. I think it's called Jackson Pollock. What's it called? He wrote a biography on Jackson Pollock. I have this guy here, Stephen Naifeh. I have that. And then I found at the book Nook, I collect books on Frank Lloyd Wright. This is a memoir by one of his apprentice years with Frank Lloyd Wright, Apprentice to a Genius by Edgar, Tafel. There's really all kinds of things inside here, photos of his buildings. I have a bunch of books on Frank Lloyd Wright, biographies, picture books, all kinds of things. So that's what I got at the book Nook, where I found a thrift store. I have more thrift store books over there I got today, which I'll show tomorrow, Lord willing. So I got a bunch of stuff take down into the lower level tonight. Try to find a place for them. So yeah, as far as what I'll probably read tonight, since I'm not into watching TV, I'll probably read some more Night Ocean. Been reading this pretty steadily. He's really a good writer. I really enjoyed reading Husserman, The Distinction by this Paul Lafarge. He's really a good writer. I mean, he doesn't blow me away. I'm not blown out of the water. But he's a good craftsman. He writes good, clean prose, good character development, a good story. It's kind of like, it's not, as far as the intensity level, it's kind of like, it's kind of in the middle. But I know, I enjoy reading it. I read it at night. Probably read it until I go to bed. So I recommend it. Check it out. He's a good craftsman. He's a good writer. He good structure, good narrative flow. Now the prose isn't sparkling or glittery, but it holds my attention, the story. So yeah, these are the books I got at the Book Nook yesterday, and some are thrift store books, just a couple. And I'll read some more of this tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Thursday. I don't have anything planned tomorrow. Like today I went out to the lake, took photos. Tomorrow's a Thursday. I don't plan really to do anything. Hang around the house, write in my diary, watch the birds, mess with the computer, write in my diary, drink tea, wait for my wife to come home. So I'm hoping you're having a good week. I thank you for the comments. Thank you for the new subscribers. I noticed some people have left. I hope the videos that you did watch, that they were a blessing to you. And until next time, bye.